Hi there, welcome to episode 100 of the Art of Business English. Super excited about reaching the 100 episode mark. That's amazing. I've been at it for a while. So thanks again for being with me on this journey. I hope that you have become avid listeners of the Art of Business English, and it's been a pleasure to really get you guys this far, or to get this far with you guys. And today I've got a bit of a fun episode for you. So we're gonna have a look at that today. Basically, it is the silly season, as we call it in English. So the silly season, which means, Christmas period when you are, going to Christmas parties, you've got Christmas work functions, you're meeting people all over the place, and, things can get pretty crazy because, food, alcohol, end of the year, people can get a little bit crazy at this time of year. So last Christmas, I did an episode on Christmas. They're called Christmas Christmas conversation starters. And that episode basically looked at how you can, start conversations with people and how you could, improve improve your confidence in breaking the ice with people. So if you haven't checked out that, then you should go back and have a look at it. I can't remember the exact number of the episode now, but I'll link up to it in the show notes. Now, what are we going to look at today? Well, today is going to be a fun episode. I thought, since I did the Christmas conversation starters last year, this year we're going to look at what not to do at a company Christmas party. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first, I'm going to tell you what not to do at a company Christmas party. And then I'm going to give you a really fun list of vocabulary that you could use that's related to the things you should not be doing in a staff Christmas party. Okay? The thing about staff Christmas parties, it depends on which country you're in, okay? If you're in England, I used to live in London, and staff Christmas parties were pretty crazy. It's free alcohol. Generally, the company pays. Free food. So free alcohol and free food for an Australian is like just an excuse to go crazy. And also with my my London friends, they were the same. I think we're all from the same, cut from the same root. So basically, it depends on the culture. But if you're in many English-speaking cultures, such as British, Australian culture, they love staff Christmas parties because it's just an excuse to go crazy. You've got free food and free booze. So woohoo, good times. So what often happened was that in staff Christmas parties, people would just, really go crazy. They would pretty much go over the top, we would say, and lose control. So, the thing about staff Christmas parties is this. You need to be careful because what happens when you start getting drunk and going crazy with your friends is that you can do and say things that you may regret. Okay, so that's really important. That's the first thing. So be conscious of that. Again, it does depend on the country you're in. I've experienced a few Christmas parties here in Spain, and it depended on the company that you're working for. Some people were more conservative or reserved. And what actually happened in some companies is that the company would organize a Christmas party and people would be very serious and, proper. But then the staff would organize one, or people would go out to, have drinks after the Christmas party, and then that's when the crazy behavior would start. So, it's great to have fun and, let your hair down. That's another expression, to let your hair down. But you need to do it in a controlled way. What are the main problems with staff Christmas parties? Well, the first one is that people can say inappropriate things. So you really need to be careful about what you say. Just because you're drunk and you think that one of your colleagues is attractive doesn't mean it's an appropriate time to say inappropriate things to your colleague. Okay? Just because you think they're an attractive person, then just the Christmas party is not an excuse to start telling them or other people your thoughts of your colleague. So that's a big problem with staff Christmas parties. Sexual harassment. Okay, sexual harassment is a big problem. Sexist or inappropriate comments by male or female members of staff. And the third issue is inappropriate behaviour in terms of, breaking things, saying stupid things to your boss, which you shouldn't do. Remember, your boss will remember those comments the next day. So sexual harassment and, sexist behaviour is a big problem, big no-no that. And it still surprises me to this day that with all of, the rules surrounding sexual harassment in the workplace and all the rules about equality, people still make stupid comments, and it's just not acceptable. So don't do it. And the third thing is, being stupid and breaking things, or being stupid and saying dumb things to your boss, which you maybe you're a bit frustrated with your boss or with one of your colleagues, but at the staff Christmas party is not the time or the place to say those things, okay? And what else is a problem? Breaking things, getting a bit out of control and breaking things. And the staff Christmas party is also not a good place to, how can we put this politely, have relations with other members of staff, okay? Don't think it's a good time or place to have an affair, or if you're still single, do inappropriate behaviour at the party. If you want to, have a relationship with one of your colleagues, then maybe that should take place in the privacy of your own home, not in the bathroom at the staff Christmas party. So, all of these things would seem like really logical things to do, but you'd be surprised that when you introduce alcohol and end of year and a bit of craziness, people start to, forget all of the things that they should and should not do. Another problem is that, people can get really drunk. So they drink too much, and that's when they start to vomit. The classic person who's, hanging their head over the toilet bowl. Not a good look at the staff Christmas party if you're in the toilet vomiting all night long. So try and just pace yourself. Remember to eat lots of food. If you're going to be drinking, then try and balance it with lots of food in your tummy. Don't come to the staff Christmas party hungry and then start, smashing back 3 or 4 glasses of wine, because it's going to go straight to your head. I mean, these things are logical, but it happens. And also try and avoid mixing all your drinks. What normally happens is people start with beers or wine, and then they move on later to harder alcohol, and that's when things can get really out of control. Okay, so just be calm, be paced. I mean, I love to have a good time. I'm Australian, love my booze, but within reason. You need to keep it reasonable and just keep it on a certain line. That being said, I've been to some pretty epic Christmas parties where a lot of funny things have happened, and then they become legendary stories within the company. As long as those crazy antics at the Christmas party are not, abusive, sexist, or sexual harassment based, and you're not damaging any company property, then okay, there can be some funny things that happen. But remember, don't make jokes at people's expense either. That's not very appropriate. You just need to have fun in a healthy way, okay? Right. So now that I've been like a dad and given you all of my advice and tips on the things you shouldn't do at the staff Christmas party, what I'm going to do now is give you a list of words which are associated with not good things to do at the staff Christmas party, okay? So the first one is to make a fool of yourself, to make a fool of yourself. So if you make a fool of yourself, you're embarrassing yourself. You do something to embarrass yourself. So try not to make a fool of yourself at the staff Christmas party, okay? Next one is to embarrass yourself. It's a synonym for to make a fool of yourself. So if you embarrass yourself and you do embarrassing things, which probably the next day you will regret, or not probably, definitely you will regret the next day with a hangover, which is not good. So that's another word, hangover. A hangover is when you have drunk too much alcohol and the next day you have a headache, or you feel sick and want to vomit. Okay, so that's a hangover. Another one is to get drunk, to get pissed as well. That's a very colloquial term, to get pissed. So to get drunk is to drink too much alcohol, and to get pissed is to drink too much alcohol. To get pissed is pretty crude. It's very informal. Okay. The next one is to go overboard. Now, if you go overboard, you lose control. Okay, it's like you know, overboard is you fall out of a boat. So if you're overboard, you've lost control and you've gone into the sea. Okay, so to go overboard means, you know, you've done too much. It's too much. It's too much. So try not to go overboard at your next company Christmas party. And the next one is to take things too far. To take things too far. So, for example, John took things too far at the staff Christmas party, and now he is going to receive a visit from the compliance department. I don't know. So something like that. So to take things too far means you've gone over the limit, you've crossed the line, and you've taken things too far. Okay, that's one. Another one is, now this one is you're going to love this one. To throw up. Okay, so to throw up, to vomit. Okay, so to throw up and vomit is when you drink too much, so you throw up all of the food or liquid inside your tummy. To vomit. Now, the next one is an Australian term, and maybe you've never heard it before. It's to chunder. Chunder is very Australian, and to chunder also means to vomit. Okay, so that's very informal. And another one from Australia, a classic, to throw your guts up. To throw your guts up. So if you hear that, it means that someone has vomited. Okay, so lovely expressions. But then again, vomiting is not very attractive, is it? That's why you should try and avoid it at your staff Christmas party, especially if you're dressed in very nice clothes. Okay, the next thing is foul language. Foul. So avoid using foul language, and it's also to swear. To swear is decir palabrotas, so using bad language. Or you use obscene language. So try and avoid foul language, swearing, and obscene language. Okay. All right. The next one is sexual harassment. I spoke about that before. Sexual harassment is obviously a definite no-no. Avoid being sexist and sexually harassing your colleagues at work. The next one is inappropriate behaviour. So inappropriate behavior means it's not okay. It's inappropriate. It's not acceptable. Okay, so inappropriate behavior. And then as a result of some of this behavior, you could be disciplined. So to be disciplined or to be reprimanded. Now, to be disciplined or to be reprimanded means that you probably receive a letter from the company saying, this is a warning about your behavior, which was not acceptable at the staff Christmas party. Okay, so a couple more here. You could get fired. If your behavior is so bad, you could get fired. Now, to get fired is you lose your job. Your company tells you that there is no longer a place for you at the organization. So you want to try and avoid getting fired at the staff Christmas party. The next one is to be abusive. Sometimes when people get drunk, they become abusive. Abusive means they shout, they get into fights, and they lose control of their emotional state. Okay, so don't be abusive. Try and avoid that. That's another tip from me. You could also get thrown out. So to get thrown out basically means that you are removed from the venue or the place where the party is happening. So to get thrown out means you've taken things too far, you're too drunk, and security or your colleagues have decided that you are to be thrown out of the party. Okay. And the last one is what would generally happen after you have woken up the next day, and that's to regret having done something. Now, to regret is when it's past, you use the gerund. So to regret plus ing. So the verb is ing. So I regret having got so drunk last night. Or I regret having made a fool of myself last night. Okay, so those are some expressions that you can associate with things you should not be doing at the staff Christmas party. Okay, so that is the list. And those are my tips from Andrew, who's being your father figure today. So next time you are at a staff Christmas party, have a good time, but try not to lose control. And yeah, study these words, have a look at these words. These are the types of words that we would associate with poor or bad behaviour at a staff Christmas party. And as we are coming up to Christmas, I hope you guys are loving this period. I'm sure a lot of you are probably very busy trying to finalise things for the year. So good luck with that. I hope it goes well. I'm in the same boat. I'm here finalising the year as well. And especially now because I'm going to Australia on the 22nd. So yeah, I'm pretty busy. So that's it from me then. I hope you found it useful, these expressions. I hope you have reflected a little bit on, getting too drunk at the staff Christmas party, and maybe you'll be a bit more conscious next time you go to your staff Christmas party. But at the same time, have a good time, socialise with people, practice your English as much as possible. And, it's a great time. It's a festive time of year. It's great to, let your hair down and relax a bit, get out, talk to your colleagues in a more of a social context as opposed to always being in a work context. And just, remember, be nice to people. It's nice. What's my expression I love to say? It's very important. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice, okay? So it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. So remember, if you are at a function, make sure you include people, make sure you congratulate people, make sure you engage them in conversation, and make sure you listen to them, and you share experiences. If people have done a great job during the year, then tell them that, and finish the year on a positive note. It's always great to receive some recognition for a lot of work or a hard year of work. Okay, so that's it from me. Those are my tips on what you should not be doing at a staff Christmas party. I hope you have a great staff Christmas party this year, and I hope you have a great finish or end to your year. And I'll be recording some podcasts with my peeps out there, and I hope you guys stay tuned, have time to listen to it, and I'll be hopefully sending you one more before Christmas. If not, have a great Christmas, and I'll see you all pretty soon. Take care. Bye for now.